right? So today we are having this the gift of feedback session, and so quickly I want to have a quick check with you, right? So what comes to your mind when you hear the word feedback?
Feedback is something that feedback is considered to be like, you respond to uh, someone's gesture, or maybe the actions or the reactions you reacted. This reaction is through, uh, if it is verbal, it's a verbal feedback. If it is action oriented, then it's an action oriented feedback. And feedbacks are positive and negative. So this is my understanding.
Great, thank you, sir. So
Sometimes feedback
Feedback,
means an instant response.
instant response. Okay.
I'm Sharat sir. Feedback makes us improve. Whether it's good or bad, it improves us. It matures us. It's
Yes.
needed.
Yeah.
Most of the times it looks very easy, but the most difficult thing to give is feedback.
Very valid point. Actually, people think that it's easy to give the feedback, or it's easy to receive the feedback, but it is one of the I would say one of the challenging thing, because people are not aware of how to give or how to receive the feedback. So that makes it more complex. Otherwise, it is a simple process, right? So basically today we will look at that simple framework. How can we use that simple framework to both give and receive the feedback? Yeah. So, but before that, actually, I want you all of you to do a small thing. So there are 4 questions here on the screen, right?
Okay, sir.
So on a scale of 1 to 5, you please assess yourself. You don't need to tell me how much you are scoring for each question. No, it is up to you. It is completely a self-reflection activity. So you score for yourself. Are you confident that you can give positive feedback in a proper manner? Out of 1 to 5, 1 being very poor, 5 being very good. So you're excellent in giving positive feedback, you can give 5. But if you think that, okay, I'm not very good, probably you can give whatever rating 1 to 5. Similarly, how many of you are confident that you can give negative feedback properly, right? So one is giving positive feedback. Second one is about giving negative feedback.
Yes.
Third question is how much confident you are for receiving positive feedback, and how much confident you are for receiving negative feedback. So again, you just self-assess yourself, and then keep those ratings right with you. You don't need to tell me. We will see again towards the end, right? So
sure.
So I will give you maybe like 1 minute to just think and give the ratings for yourself. If all of you have done, then we can move on.
I'm done, sir.
Thank you. Hello, Annette.
I am done, sir. Sharat. Yeah.
Thank you, Sarath. Hello, Annette. Good evening.
Hello, sir.
Annette, we just started.
Okay.
Right. And so currently what we are doing is we are self-assessing ourselves, right? How much confident we are for giving positive feedback, how much confident we are for giving negative feedback. Similarly, how much confident we are for receiving feedback, and how much confident we are for receiving negative feedback on a scale of 1 to 5. So you can answer for yourself. You don't need to tell me or tell anybody that what scores you have. It is for your self-reflection. Yeah. So maybe I will give you 30 seconds so that we can move on. Okay, I think.
Done, sir.
Thank you. So I know I'm waiting for Sridharan. He's joining, so I just want to give him little opportunity. Hello, Sridharan. Good evening.
Sridharan has joined in.
Yeah, good evening, Sridharan. Okay, fine. So let's move on. Because why I want to give opportunities, because again we will come back to this slide later towards the end, right? To see how much whatever scores we have given, whether there will be any change or not. Yeah. All right. So now just coming to my profile, about a brief introduction about me. My name is Vijay Kumar Pitta. So I did my master's in technology, and I did master's in industrial and organizational psychology. And I have worked for 25 years in IT sector, and I have blended experience of technology and psychology. And then while working, I was attracted towards psychology, and so I have done a lot of work towards organizational development and implementation of change initiatives and all those things. And for last 2 years, I have been facilitating and training sessions. And in the last 2021 May onwards, June 2021 onwards, almost I have given sessions for more than 3,500 people, and hopefully I have positively impacted their lives in one or other way. And my focus mostly has been on employee engagement, towards the organizational development, employee retention, employee attrition kind of thing, and then employee development, where soft skills, leadership skills, and then employee well-being, again a kind of mental health for corporates. So these are the three areas predominantly I work, right? And because I worked most of my time in automotive industry, IT sector. So you know do you see this in your side mirror if you have vehicles, right?
Yes, yes.
Right. So objects in mirror are closer than they appear, right? This is what
Yes.
see, right? So similar to that, I want to make one disclaimer. Whatever you are seeing in this slide versus whatever you are seeing on the video, any close resemblance is not coincidental. It is actually me, right? You are seeing the same person on the slide as well as on the video. Only thing is, I visited a temple town recently, and so you see my, shaved head, right? Otherwise, don't get confused. I'm seeing a different person on the slide, and so thank you for that. Yeah. So let's move on to the. Of course, this is my expertise in like what I give trainings, right? Mental health counseling services, OD, and all other trainings. And these are my trainings I have associated with many organizations so far, luckily by God's grace. So let's look at some of the familiar situations which we encounter, right, with respect to the feedback. And please stop me, whenever you have any query, because we have less participants, so I think we can have a more engaging, discussions, right? So you all had good dinner or good lunch?
Yes, sir.
Good. Thank you. So whenever you have some lunch or dinner, right? Suppose, whoever prepares it, right? By mistake, they put some salt extra or some spices extra, right? So do you give feedback?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
I guess it is, we jump into criticism. What is this? Who made this food? What is this?
Yes, definitely, right? We give feedback. Okay, now you all had, you said good lunch, good dinner. Did you give feedback to your partner that today's lunch is good, today's dinner is good, today's snacks is good? How many?
Actually, what happens is we give more negative feedback than positive feedback. When it's good,
Exactly.
we don't give.
I'm coming to that point. So
Yeah.
what happens is most of the times we think that feedback means we have to focus only on negative things, right? That is a myth. But most of the time that is how we are born and brought up in our house, in our schools, educational system, organizations. You do a lot of good things, but one small thing you make a mistake, people pounce on you. They tell. Maybe you get the feedback for multiple years for one mistake you do, right? So most of the time people think that it is only for the negative feedback. And then other thing is, like Reshmi has done a great presentation, right? And then her boss comes and says, you did great presentation. Now she has, do you think that is sufficient for her? Do you think that motivates her?
Sir, just by saying that you did a good job I would consider it as a comment, like, okay, you just said it. But if you really mean it, be it positive or negative, sir, you have to explain them. Oh, Reshmi, you did a great presentation. We liked this in your presentation. Your body language was good. Your effectiveness was good. So That way, the other person will understand. See, me making it or am I really meaning it is a very easy way to make it out. If somebody is saying, okay, Bala, good job, that means he's just saying it. What was good in that is what need to be told.
Perfect, sir. I think we all need to give him a big hand, for the excellent. Because many times, we think that we don't specify what aspects are good, right? Simply says, yeah, you did a good job. But actually, that person put in lot of efforts. As many people, as Bala mentioned, that the diagram was good, the presentation was good, the flow was good, body language was good, but we don't give. We think, okay, this is enough. And other thing, what we observe here, Vinay, he works on a presentation. He gave presentation in, say January 2022. And his boss, during the performance appraisal in December 2022, he says, your presentation, whatever you gave in January was not good. By the time, he would have forgotten what he has done. So many times in the organizations, we see that timely feedback is not given. Can you relate it to this? Any of you? So these are some of the familiar situations we see on our day-to-day life, right? So now I want you to do a small activity. That is the reason why I asked you to bring paper and pen. Right. So this activity is my favorite activity, which I have invented on my own. Because when I have to take the feedback sessions in person, that activity was different. But when it comes to the online, I wanted to give them that kind of impact to the audience. So I invented on my own, right?
Great, sir.
What we need to do here is, the objectivity is objective of this activity is you are trying to reach from point A to point B. Yeah.
Okay.
And then you are stuck up somewhere in point P. Okay. So now you are asking your colleague or your friend or your mentor, your manager, whoever it is, please tell me how to reach my goal. I'm stuck up. Right. So that is what you are asking. Now, so you are all asking me to give the feedback. So now I am acting as I'm your friend to guide you, not acting. I'm your friend to guide you. How to reach your goal from point A to point B, in spite of having an obstruction there, right? So the instructions here, what you need to follow is, I will give you 3 sets of instructions. Okay.
Okay.
So every time you please draw on your paper this one, right? I mean, you can draw the same picture, whatever is there on the slide now.
All right.
And whenever I'm giving you any instruction, if it is very clear, take the action. If the instruction is not clear, don't take any action.
Okay.
Okay. But what I want you to do is, I want you to observe your feelings, right? And what is going on in your mind, right? Whenever I'm giving you instruction, right? So is it helping? Is it not helping? Are you able to reach your goal? Whatever comes to your mind, you just note down. Okay. Is it clear? So all of you have written, all of you have drawn this diagram on your paper. Point A, point B, point B. That's it. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can we start with instructions?
Yes, please.
Okay. Now I'm giving you the first set of instructions. Yeah. You're doing great. Keep going. Excellent. You keep trying. It's okay. You will reach there. Don't worry. So my first set of instructions are over. If any of these instructions help you to reach your goal, please take action. Otherwise, no need to do anything, but please observe your feelings and write it down, or keep it in your mind. No need to tell. We will come to that reflection little later. Yeah. So you're all clear with first set of instructions I gave you.
Now, sir, when you say that, you've commented that you're doing great, keep going, excellent and all.
Yeah.
So you also said that, if it makes you to move to your goal, that's something that I didn't understand.
No. Yeah. So don't worry. So that means the instruction is not clear. So you're not taking any action.
Oh, got it.
So when the instruction is clear, you need to take action. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Understood.
So now first set of instructions are over. Now I'm giving you the second set of instructions. Yeah.
Okay.
So again, you're asking me, please give me guidance. I'm stuck up at P. how do I reach my goal of B? So
Mm.
I said, how come you don't know this? Is this what you learnt in your college? No one taught you this? It's very easy, or why don't you understand that simple thing?
Mm.
So again, I gave you my second set of instructions. If you can take any action, please take. Otherwise, observe. When I gave you these instructions, how you are feeling.
Mm.
Huh?
Got it.
So now I will move on to third set of instructions.
Okay.
So there may be some obstacles if you want to draw a direct line from point A to point B. Try drawing a line from point A to point C first to your right horizontally. Then see if you can reach point B from point C. Maybe you need to draw a vertical line upwards. Okay. So
Got it.
my third set of instructions are complete. Again, if these instructions are clear and if you can take any action, please take. Otherwise, no need. Yeah.
Okay.
So now we will move on to the reflection part. Right? All of you have done?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So now we will move on to the reflection of activity. Right?
Mhm.
So when I gave you the first time the instructions, right? What do you think? What was going in your mind? I'm saying I'm praising you, right? You are doing
Yes.
good, keep going excellent. You do. So what is going on in your mind?
It was motivating. It was inspiring.
It was inspiring. But
Felt
did,
confident.
yeah, but did it help you to reach your goal?
No.
Mhm.
No, right? So that means I can give positive feedback, but which is not helpful,
Got it. Got it. Got it.
right? I can appreciate you, but is it helping you? No. Now in the second time,
Just want to intersect now.
yes,
If I am asking help, then right. But I just ask for encouragement, and this is good for me.
no, you didn't
If,
ask, right?
okay, I am.
Yeah.
Hmm,
Sorry, Deepak. The objective is you have to reach
ah.
from point A to point B.
Right.
Your objective is to reach your goal of point B. So
Okay.
you ask somebody, how can I reach point B?
Okay. So you're asking direct help.
Yeah.
Direct help it.
Correct.
Okay.
I mean,
Right.
you're asking your friend or you're asking your manager, whoever it is, because
Okay.
you're stuck up at some point.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
So this is what you are getting. Saying,
Right.
okay, you're doing great and all. So, I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
definitely we will be happy. We will feel confident to certain extent initially. But then we feel, oh, what this guy is telling, it is not helping me to reach my goal. Right? So in the second set of instructions, when I gave you, what was going in your mind? Like,
Negative.
Direction.
yeah. Sorry.
We
again,
need direction.
yeah,
Which direction you need to go.
correct. But
Only if we get that can motivation help you.
correct. But in the second set of instructions, it is more of, I'm scolding, right? How come you don't know this? This is very simple, right? So many times, when we are stuck up and we go to our friends or our managers, they say like this in corporates, right? Oh, you studied BE, you studied BTech, you don't know the small thing. Yes, I don't know. Not knowing is wrong. But, we get a lot of these comments. So it is actually negative and not helpful. Okay, you scold me, not a problem, but give me the direction, give me the solution. That is what I'm asking you. But you are only scolding me. Now, in the third set of instructions, right, it was clear. Okay, you can try this. No, again, in the last statement, you see if you can reach or draw. No, I'm not saying that, okay, you from point C you can do. So I'm asking you to explore, see if there is possibility. So I'm giving you the guidance. So here what happens is the instructions were helpful.
Yeah, it was clear-cut instructions.
Yeah, it was helpful feedback. So many times, what happens is we see that, the positive but not helpful or negative and not helpful. And very few times we see the helpful feedback. And we also, as a trainers, we get into a lot of these things, right? Say, for example, we want to expand the scope of training services, but I don't know. Maybe I'm an NLP trainer. I want to, expand my services into, say, workplace well-being. I don't know how to do. If somebody comes and asks me, I need to provide them the proper feedback. Or if I go and ask somebody, they need to tell me, how I can move forward. Similarly, somebody doesn't know how to deal with difficult participants. So we need to help them. And somebody want to introduce the new concept like, augmented reality or virtual reality or a gamification in trainings. If we go and ask some expert, they should encourage us. They should tell us how to go forward, right? That is what is the message I want to, convey through that activity. Hope you all like that activity, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Very correct.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So now we move on to the types of feedback. The types of feedback you all know, right? There are two types mainly. One is reinforcing or encouraging, and otherwise we call it as a positive feedback. Like if somebody is doing good job, we need to tell them, okay, you are doing good job. I like your way of presenting. Please continue to do that work. The other type of feedback is redirecting or constructive. That is, okay, you're doing something, but it is not helping you to reach your goal. So maybe you have to start doing something differently, or maybe you are almost on the path. Maybe you need to do some adjustments, right? Change something. So this is the two types of feedback. And on the people say positive feedback, the left side, and negative feedback on the right side. But generally, I don't prefer to use positive and negative because there is nothing like positive and negative. It is only, you are encouraging somebody or you are redirecting or constructive, feedback. Yeah. So now we will look at what are the different feedback models. So there are two feedback models. One is feedback and other one is feed forward. Again, when it comes to the frameworks, right, there are so many frameworks available. For example, SBI, situation, behavior, impact. There is another feedback model called a sandwich model, where you give positive feedback first and put negative feedback and then end with positive feedback. It is called sandwich feedback, right?
Okay.
So there are so many models available in the industry, and you can use anything, right? Nothing wrong in that. Everything has positives, everything has negatives, right? You need to choose which one is better. Now, the fundamental difference between feedback and feed forward is feedback tells you current behavior and impact. So that means if somebody has done something wrong, we will tell, okay, you have done something wrong, and because of that, we lost our customers. But we stop there. In the feed forward model, we take additional step of telling that, okay, you have not done presentation well. Because of that, we lost our customers. And how can we move forward? How can we try to improve this in future? So that is where the fundamental difference comes for feed forward models. In the feed forward model, the focus is more on how can we move forward with the new behaviors, right? We don't stuck up in, okay, the past, whatever happened is happened. But how do we move forward? Right? Because that helps. There is no point in cribbing saying that, yes, you did a mistake, you did a mistake, you did a mistake. No, that person cannot change. You need to guide them. You need to help them to move forward. How can we improve our, whatever behaviors? So the difference is basically, as I discussed, right? The focus is on the past feedback, and it points out problems, and people also feel judged. And mostly feedback is one way and doesn't always focus on action. Whereas feed forward, it focuses on the future, and we give suggestions for improvement. And it is a two-way participation. Again, when I ask the person to improve, it is not that I am telling my opinion.
Yes, sure.
I will ask them how we can move forward. So we will see that through examples, yeah, and focus on future action plan. So the feed forward model is based on the premises that whatever happened is happened. We don't have control, but we have more control over the future. That is the fundamental premises on which feed forward models are formed. Is it clear, the difference between?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Please feel free to stop me, okay, any time. So now we will quickly go to the effective feedback model. Again, as I said, there are so many feedback models available, but I will take very simple framework, which I have been using throughout my sessions and of course in my personal life also to do that. So I will explain you that. So basically, when we say effective feedback, right? So what do you think? What is the definition of effective feedback?
Effective feedback is something that, it brings in a change, mostly the positive change. Let's say, for example, if I talk to my son, I say that, you've been very lazy or maybe careless and all. But at the same time, I tell him that, where are the instances that I found him to be lazy or to be careless? Or at the same time, I also tell him that, where has he been improving and all. So that effect has to be there on the other person.
Perfect. Yeah. Any other views?
It has to have that correct effect. I mean, your feedback should have the desired effect. Then only it will worthwhile, or else it's just a waste of time.
Correct.
Effective feedback should be helpful, and it should eliminate confusion.
Perfect. All are valid points. Yeah. But only one point there is, when we are giving feedback, the other person should receive it also. Right?
Yes.
Without feeling attacked or defensive. That is more important.
Correct.
So the crux lies in, see, everybody gives feedback. But how do we give feedback in such a way that others can hear it without feeling attacked, without feeling defensive? That is more important.
Yes.
So I use a 3W framework. Right?
Okay.
Has anyone heard about 3W framework?
No, sir. Not me.
So this 3W framework is basically, we use what? Okay, what is the situation? What are the specifics? What incident happened? Whatever it is. And why are we talking now? What is the impact of such behavior? Or what is the impact of certain action?
Okay.
Why are we talking now? And what is the impact and what is the effect of that? And then the third W is way forward. How can we improve? What options we have to improve, and what is the plan? So this is the framework. So I will elaborate it in slides with examples. Yeah. So when it comes to the first what happened? So we need to state observed behaviors in an objective manner, right? And we need to avoid judgment, avoid accusatory universal statements. Like, as Bala sir mentioned, you are lazy. That is judging, right? That is accusing. So what are the universal statements? Can anyone tell? Universal statements are using always. You are always late. One person comes one day late to office and the manager says, you are always late, right?
Never.
And you never change. You can never do this perfectly. Right? Using these universal statements means using always, never. These are the universal statements. So we should
generalized statement, you're saying.
Sorry?
Generalized statement. Generalizing the statement.
Generalized statement, yeah. We should not use that. Okay. So what will happen is, when you objectively give a feedback, it builds trust. See, when you say that, Mr. Satish, I observed you came one day late every week to the office, is more objective than saying that I saw every day you're coming late. So the moment you say every day coming late, the other person becomes defensive, and that is not truth, and he will not have trust. But the moment you say, see, I observed you only one day in a week you're coming late, the builds trust. Yes, my manager knows what I'm doing, right? And now the second W is, why is it important, right? We need to tell them what matters, why this is matters, what is the impact of it, and who is impacted and how. See, the person may be thinking that, okay, maybe this is only problem with me, but actually indirectly he may be impacting all other people. So he may not be aware of it. So we need to tell that. And what are the risks, consequences, or concerns if the behavior continues, right? If you do this, what will happen? Now, that creates an awareness. Sometimes people may not be aware. So we will see that in example. The third one is, what is the way forward, right? Okay, whatever happened is happened. Now, what needs to be done differently, right? And we need to, very importantly, it is not that I am, forcing my view on that person for a solution. I am inviting views from the person. Okay, how can we together solve this problem? How we can improve the behavior? And we need to also ask the willingness of the person. See, once we come brainstorm some solutions, and we need to ask, okay, are you interested in doing this? Are you okay to do it? Or do you think anything else we need to do, right? If any support is required. So this is, this sets a future direction for the person. So it builds trust, it creates awareness, and it also gives future direction. So now I will take one example so that you all can very well understand this. And this is a very classic example I'm giving you from a corporate scenario. Yeah. So some manager scheduled daily meetings at 10 o'clock. This is a scenario. And one person in your team is joining late to the scheduled daily meetings once in a week for last 1 month continuously. So he is coming late once in a week for 1 month. Yeah. So now his manager is telling, you're always late. You are lazy. So what is happening is the manager is using universal statements and he's judging. I don't like this behavior. I don't want to see this again. This is threatening. But this is what most of the times happens. But how can we improve this feedback using 3W framework? Right? We will see. Because this is definitely not a good way of giving feedback, because that person immediately becomes defensive. How can
Correct.
you say that? I'm coming daily, only one day I'm not coming late. Why are you telling always late? Right? So the heated arguments, heated discussions will start. Right?
Correct.
So instead of that, let us see how can we do this. Right? So the manager says, okay, I observed that you are coming late on Thursdays every week for past 1 month, which is true. Right? One day in a week. First, he is trying to understand, is there any reason for not able to come on time? Instead of becoming judgment, instead of telling lazy, he's trying to ask the person, okay, can you please tell me, any reason why you are not able to come? Is everything okay? So very empathetic conversation. Now we need to allow the person to talk. Now the person tells, yeah, see, I have to take my parent to hospital every Thursday. And that is the reason why I'm not able to meet. Though I wanted to make it, I'm not able to make because I'm some personal reason. Right? So now you will continue the discussion saying, okay, I understand. But see, what is happening is because you are not coming, that particular day, we are missing your inputs in the meetings as you are not able to attend the meeting. And this is impacting our project timings. And also the entire team is thinking why I am very flexible with you, why I am allowing you to, come late on one day. So I am telling, again, what is the impact? See, he may be thinking that, okay, I am going late. What a big deal for others. But he is indirectly impacting others' morale. He is indirectly impacting the project schedule. He is telling that, okay, I am giving you my inputs through email or whatever it is. But what is happening is the people who are waiting for his inputs, they are not able to proceed further. So their work is impacting. So now we need to tell them because he is not aware of that. So now when we tell this, the person will create that, will have that awareness. And now the next point is, okay, how can we make sure to get your inputs in a timely manner? I'm not saying that, we are not saying that, okay, you have to come on Thursday also. I'm asking, how can we make sure that we get inputs in timely manner? Then he may be telling that, okay, I will send you an email before the meeting, or, maybe can we move this meeting to half an hour before, whatever it is, right? So that is where brainstorming happens. But again, it is not that just because he is suggesting a solution, we agree. No, it is not, because maybe instead of 10 o'clock, if he asks us to move the meeting to 9:30, that may not be convenient for some other people. So we cannot take, that immediately, but we need to collect the inputs from him and come up with best alternative approach, how we can do. And then we can ask, okay, do you need any support? Right? So that is where, again, the person has to come up with the views, because when the person, suggests the solution, there will be more commitment than we telling the solution. Do you agree? So this is how, the feedback. So the person will not get defensive. The person will not get attacked, feel attacked. And also we are inviting for the views. So that is how, it can be. Any questions? Or do you like this?
It's perfectly all right, sir. I have no questions.
Yeah. Anyone else?
Yeah, probably when do you immediately take it up, or how wait for some time and then take it up?
Again, see, he waited for 1 month and 1 month continuously happening, right? See, one day probably you don't need to really, unless that is very important meeting, right? But if it is happening, probably you can wait for some time, because, as I said, we don't know what is happening with the other person, right? The other person may be having a lot of personal issues. We don't know, because we don't have that kind of, the empathetic conversations nowadays in the office, right? We are very transactional, or we became very transactional, right? All right. Sorry, sir, I had to mute because there was some disturbance. Okay, now again I'll move with some other constructive feedback, right? So we have seen the constructive feedback. Again, constructive means basically we want something to change. So we will see some more examples. Again, I will quickly go through. So here, this is a very classic thing between family, right? So the partner says, "You never help with household chores. You are so lazy," right? So now it can happen either wife says or husband says. Then immediately the person becomes defensive. But instead of that, probably if we say, "I have noticed that sometimes household chores are not distributed evenly, and this leads me to overload, and I'm feeling frustrated that I'm not able to spend more time with you, and because I'm spending more time in the household chores. Can we discuss for a fair distribution or responsibility, or can we do anything differently?" So which one do you think better, right? I mean, definitely the person is frustrated with a lot of work. But if you say that, you are lazy, you never help, then again, there will be more heated arguments. Instead of that,
Correct.
can we say like this, right?
The choice of words.
The choice of words. Yes. And you're putting it in right manner. I'm not saying that
Exactly.
you tell lies, but
Correct.
it is all going in your mind, but the way it is coming out is different, right? In the left side portion. But probably,
Yes, you are right.
yeah, if you take some time and, construct that words, the sentences, it will lead to more smooth, discussions, right? And similarly, we see this lot of times in the parents and children relationships, right? Your mom
Sometimes,
take,
yeah.
I'm spending so much money on you. You don't study well.
Yeah.
You will
Sometimes,
struggle in your life.
Yeah. Sometimes more things happen when you keep silent for a long time.
Yeah.
And then suddenly it bursts out after some time.
Correct.
Normally, it's something which you keep inside you for a long time, and then finally you burst out some place.
Yeah.
That time it comes out like the one is left.
Correct.
If
So
you keep silent.
here, if you look at it very clearly, though we are telling that, I'm spending a lot of money on you, you don't study well, you struggle. No, this is not our intention actually, right? Our intention is not that, okay, I'm spending money or you don't come up in life, right? Our intention is to improve. So how can we do that? I observed that, you are getting low grades in some subjects, and I am worried about your future career. This is the actual intention, right? This is why I want to talk to you. I'm not talking to you because I'm wasting money. I'm talking to you because I'm worried about your future career. And then can we discuss how can we improve? Do you need any specific help from me or teachers? So now just imagine, right? The teenagers, now when you talk to them, the way it is written on the left side, obviously immediately they will become agitated. They will give back, and there will be very, very, rough relationship happens. But the moment you put it in a more, smooth manner, the relationship also, will be better. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. What I
Definitely.
feel that, with this session, I'm also able to relate it with something else. These days, we have lost the art of talking to each other.
Yeah.
So, even if it is in a professional or personal, it's that, when you say that, you've been lazy, you're not helping me, you're doing things and all, it categorizes the other individual and they go into the defensive mode, which we do not realize.
Correct.
And again, what happens is that ends up with a negative impact, and eventually the relations are lost.
Yeah.
So that art has to be sharpened.
True, that
That's the skill.
empathetic conversations are not happening, right? So
Exactly.
that is the problem. Yeah.
Not only art of speaking, the art of listening is also not there now.
True, very true.
Correct. Correct.
True. Most of the problems are with listening only.
Yeah. If we get time out of our gadgets, then we'll be better off. Actually,
Correct.
most of the time we are on that phone and
Yes.
looking down, looking down. Yeah.
Okay, so let's move forward, right? So we saw constructive feedback. Now I want to explain you, how encouraging feedback can be, right?
Correct.
So, sorry, there is another constructive feedback. As a trainer, I will quickly go through. I don't want to spend more time. See, after the training session, the manager comes and says, "You have messed up the session. I'm very disappointed with you," right? Our customer is not happy. Instead of that, probably we need to tell them, "Thank you for the session today." At least, we need to thank for the efforts, right? Can I give you some suggestions, right? I felt the storyline was not relevant, whatever it is. What happened? Flow of the presentation was not smooth. And why I am
Correct.
telling you is because the participants were not happy, our customers is also not happy. So we may not get any training opportunities in future from them, right?
Correct.
So now I want to discuss with you on how we can improve our training quality. Like, see, already happened. There is no point in scolding, saying that it's mess up and you have to face the music. But the intention is how can we develop. So the genuine intention of developing others, that should be the cornerstone of the feedback, right? So that is how we need to give. So in the interest of time, just moving forward. So now let us look at the encouraging feedback. Right? This is basically somebody is doing good job and we want to encourage them. And there is a scenario where, there are so many guests coming to your house, right? And your partner, your mother, whoever it is, right? They all spent a lot of time in making so many dishes, right? And then the guests were, guests left, and then, you want to, say thank you to your partner. So simply we say you have prepared an excellent dinner today, right? But then do you think this is sufficient for that effort, whatever they are putting? It is not sufficient. Why can't we say a little more? Why can't we extend little more by saying, thank you for the excellent dinner today. The paneer butter masala was a highlight. Dal fry is heavenly. I know some of you may be, mouth watering because the dinner time. Sorry for that. Yeah, dal fries is heavenly. Rotis were soft. Gulab jamun is so tasty, right? And I'm proud to be your partner. All our guests are happy. I'm sure. See, this is the last thing is more important. I'm sure you must have put in a lot of effort. Thank you so much. You're awesome cook and you need some good rest now. See, how much difference you can make, in your partner's feelings by shifting from left to right. See, all these things, I'm not saying that you don't have in mind. Everything is in our mind. But only thing is when communicating, when we are demonstrating that, we don't demonstrate it probably. We simply say our ego will come in picture. We say, okay, you have prepared an excellent dinner today. And sometimes we take it for granted, right? But then just imagine, not only now for cooking, anything, right? So, but we don't do that. But just imagine, the feeling you give, the happiness you give to your partner for all, the partner will forget all the efforts if you tell this. But otherwise, they think that, oh, okay, this is my part of job, routine work kind of thing, right? All right. The same thing in the corporate world. Probably, I think Balaji sir has already mentioned, so I don't want to spend more time here. After, conducting an excellent session, right? Maybe manager or somebody comes and says that you have conducted an excellent session. Instead of that, maybe we can tell, thank you. I loved the way you have drawn the audience attention with graphics and visualization. You gave, examples you gave were very relevant, whatever it is, right? And participants have given very positive feedback. Our client is very happy. And please continue to good work. That is more important. Sure, you must have put in a lot of efforts. Some kind of thing, right? So this makes a significant difference to your partner, your family member, your team member, whoever it is. Yeah. So you're all with me on this?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What I also feel is that, sir, feedback, when you say it, I know, as you rightly said that, we don't say it out. It's there in our mind, our heart.
Yeah.
But you have to be very genuine in talking about it. Like, for example, if let's say if it is in a training session, unless I am there in the training session and observe, hey, that particular slide, you have created it awesome. I'm so impressed with it. So what will happen, he will take it in positive way. For example, let's say if I'm going to my partner and saying that, today the dal fry was heavenly, and she knows that dal fry has not been that great, and I'm talking or faking it, then, that will go into adverse. Enough, you are now, so that has to be there. You have to be genuine in that.
Correct. Absolutely, sir. I mean, definitely, that should be genuine intention of, encouraging or developing. We should not give, because see, the moment you give, you tell lie, right? Or a fake,
Exactly.
impressing others, the trust is lost.
Exactly.
And, it takes, years to build the trust, but easy to
Yes.
break the trust, right? So yeah, definitely. Sorry, Annette, you want to say something?
Yeah, you can definitely encourage them, but you can tell them, just give them a small correction. It would have been better if it was a little more this way or that way, or reduced or increased.
Correct.
So that they can improve the next time.
Yeah, exactly. See, you can tell all things, saying that, okay, everything was good. Maybe, in dal, probably there was little salt more, but other than that, it is fantastic, right? So she also knows, right? Yeah. Okay. All right. So, so these are the examples for providing feedback, right?
Yes.
And now I want to go for receiving feedback, but I'm also worried about the time. So
Yeah.
I want your opinion about here, right? Because it will take at least another half an hour, right? Because of course we started late, and if you want to end up by 9, probably we will not be able to do that because already it is 5 to 9. So we have two choices now. One is we can continue for another half an hour, or we can reassemble maybe like in another day to cover the receiving feedback part. Your choice.
I'm
Because I
okay
don't
with
want
it.
to hold you up on the weekend, and also I don't know whether you have finished your dinner and all, right? So your family members may be waiting. I don't know. So that's why I'm.
I think what do you say? We'll have a part 2 next Saturday again, same time. Or
Won't we lose the touch?
Sorry.
Won't we lose the touch?
okay, or else can we continue then? I'm
I
okay
think it's
with it.
better we continue and finish it off.
Yeah. See, I'm
Yeah.
okay with
That
continuing.
impact will not be there when you come back the next time.
So we have to give feedback to Mr. Vijay Kumar now. Proper, genuine feedback.
I
Genuine
don't mind
feedback.
continuing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, what about others? Are you okay?
I am okay with anything, sir. I'm all right. To continue or to come back on next. I'm absolutely fine.
Okay. And what about Arif sir, Ramnath, Sridharan, Sarath? Please, feel free
Okay to
to.
continue, sir. No,
Okay.
I'll go with majority, sir. No
Okay.
other.
Sure.
Whichever
Thank
is
you.
way, it's fine with me.
Yeah. So I will take, at least another 25 to 30 minutes. But the only thing is, in case if you want to leave for any reason, please feel free to do. Okay. No obligations. But definitely, it's a very good session, especially in terms of receiving, because, giving feedback is a one different animal and receiving feedback is a different type of animal, right? We need to do that. Yeah. All right. So let's go ahead with receiving feedback. So some of the reactions when you receive feedback, right? When people receive feedback, we see are, anger. Okay. I have, had enough of this. You told me many times. It's okay. Fine. Leave it. Right. Denial. I don't see any problem. If somebody is giving me feedback saying that, boss, your presentation was not good, immediately I will say, no, everything is good. I don't see any problem there. Right. And then blame. Oh, it is not my fault. Actually, I had somebody else gave me this content and I just have to paste it. Right? So we are trying to blame somebody else. We are not taking the accountability and ownership. And rationalization. Yeah, yesterday I had a very severe stomachache, so I could not, spend more time. Yeah, though it was informed to that person maybe 1 week or so. Still we try to rationalize our mistake, saying that,
Yeah.
bad week or bad day. And matured reaction is, okay, I understand, I realize I should not have done that. And very matured way of doing it is, okay, I understand and I will work on improvement plan. So these are the different reactions we see when we give the feedback or when we receive when somebody is receiving the feedback, right? So far we have seen from the feedback provider perspective. Now we have to shift the perspective to receiver. Okay. So these are some of the reactions we see while receiving feedback. And do you know what types of choices we have in receiving feedback? We have seen the emotions, right? Anger, denial, acceptance, all those are emotions. Now, what choices we have in receiving feedback? Can anyone tell?
While receiving the feedback, one has to be with an open mind and take it if not in a positive way, be neutral. Listen to the person who's giving you feedback and see that, you're not reacting to it. Respond to it.
Yes, yeah, valid.
Try to understand what the person is saying. You try to be in their shoes so that you will be able to understand what exactly they're trying to say.
Yeah. So those are all the best practices of receiving feedback, definitely, right? But what I'm telling is what choices we have in receiving feedback. If somebody is giving us the feedback, what choices we have?
You take it or leave it.
Good, take it or leave it, right? Of course, accept, reject, or defend.
Yes.
Defend.
Deny. Okay.
So accept means we are accepting it as an opportunity for improvement, right? And rejecting means we are ignoring some of the signals from people. See, for example, if you are giving a presentation to, like, say, 20 people, and if one person is telling, no, the presentation was not good, but remaining 19 people are saying it is good, maybe you need to take a balanced approach. But 15 people are telling it can be improved, then definitely, you cannot reject. So if you're rejecting means you are ignoring some of the signals from the people that there is improvement required, right? And sometimes defensive. That means maybe, right, you need to provide some context or new information which other person is not aware of. Many times in the corporate world, the communication gap happens. So probably you need to, maybe somebody blames, without understanding what happened. So at that point of time, probably we need to defend, right? Contest, right? Maybe, we can also say challenge. But again, how we challenge, again, there is a way to do that. Yeah. So now when we accept it, we need to, this is where, all of you mentioned, right? So we need to accept it with open heart. It is not we are accepting just in front of the person and, then going back and say that, oh, this guy is always like that. Yeah. So you accept it in front of the person saying that, okay, thank you, boss. But later go out and say, oh, this guy is always like this. No, there is no point because you're not accepting wholeheartedly. And when you're rejecting, what happens is you can reject, but you are not going to change other people's perception, right? If many people are saying that, you have to improve your presentation and still you are ignoring, still you are rejecting, I mean, you cannot change their perception, right? So you need to understand why they are saying the presentation is not good and maybe you need to work on that. But simply by rejecting, you are not going to change anything. When you are defending, probably you need to be ready with your examples, data, and again, do not contest for the sake of argument. Some people, just like that, they'll argue. No, that is not correct. If you have a proper data, solid examples, give them. Show them this is the context which happened, right? So these are some of the things. Now, we will use again the same 3W framework when we receive the feedback also, right? So many times what happens is the person who is giving us the feedback, they give the first W. What happened, right? Your dish is not good. You made a mess of the presentation, right? Your quarterly results are not good. This we always listen, right? So this is first W they always cover. Now, because you are attending this session, now you have a responsibility to extract the remaining 2 Ws from that person. Why is it important? What is the way forward, right? So as a receiver, now you need to identify more specifics on the impact and way forward. Without getting upset, without getting, without getting that emotional of, anger, denial, or, kind of thing. Now you need to understand, okay, I got a first W. Now I understand there are 3 Ws. Can I get the details of remaining 2 Ws? Okay. So then we will see again through some examples. Okay. So only thing is when we are giving feedback, we need to have the genuine intention of developing others. Whereas when we receive the feedback, again, we need to have genuine intention of maybe there is an opportunity for improvement. Right? That we need to keep it in mind. Now we will see one example. Again, this is a reinforcement. That means, somebody is giving us positive feedback and how we receive, right? And this is more challenging also, I'm telling you. Many people think that receiving positive feedback is very easy, but that is, they don't know how to receive the feedback, I bet. Okay, let's look at it. So you worked on a training need analysis report with very tight timelines, right? And you had to work 2 days continuously to complete the assignment without impacting your other schedules. And after you submitted the report, your manager comes and says, well done, Ashish, your report was good. Thank you for the efforts. Now, how do you respond? I want you to answer this. Again, there is nothing personal. Just I want to see how you respond to this particular appreciation. you would have seen in many, maybe in your organization, previous organization, or you would have observed how other people receive this feedback. This is appreciation, nothing wrong in that. But how do you respond?
Any feedback, I have to welcome it. This is what my personal opinion is. I welcome it. And again, when I put in, let's say, for example, I've spent my weekend and I've put in a lot of efforts. Basically, to be happy, I should not expect somebody to come over the wall and say that, oh, dude, you have done excellent work and all. I will not expect much. I will put in my hard efforts. I know that I've put in my efforts and I will be happy with it. Any feedback is bonus.
Good, sir, Bala sir. Definitely whatever you said is correct. But now what you're doing is here, you are expecting other person to elaborate the appreciation so that you'll be more happy, right? Okay,
Yes.
now we know that people don't know how to provide feedback, right? We have seen in many cases that they will come and say, you have done an excellent job. Then how do you respond to that, right? So now you cannot expect the person to give elaborate
Exactly.
because the person doesn't know how to do it. Now, how do you do that? So let us see this example, right? Most of the times, people will become very humble. Right? Thank you so much, Thomas. Actually, it is not that great, and then also it is my duty to do it. And without your support, I would not have done it. Actually, that manager has not done anything. He has assigned the task, that also with tight timelines. And now we are telling, no, it is my duty. Without your support, I would not have done it. Thanks for your support. Now, what you are doing is you are undermining your own efforts.
Exactly.
How your manager knows that you have put in 2 weekends or 1 weekend extra time? How did you manage all your regular activities? See, what happens is if you give this kind of response to your manager, then he thinks or she thinks that you have a lot of bandwidth to take more tasks. So actually, you are not loaded. So that's why you could complete it on time. So if you are not, highlighting your efforts, who else will highlight? So now this is a way of doing it. But we see many times in corporates, people do this. They become very humble. And they will give credit. They will give wrong credit to the managers. Of course, the manager support is there. Right? So now how do we do that? Thank you so much, Thomas. Yes, I had to work 2 days continuously as it came in an ad hoc manner. So you are highlighting your efforts. And you are also telling I had to reprioritize some of the tasks. And you are telling I took support from my friend Ravi to handle some of the training schedule so that we don't miss our regular activities. So you are giving credit to your friend who helped you, right? And also you are giving a feedback. If we had received little more time, it would have been easier on time on everybody. However, it's a learning experience for me. Thanks for the opportunity. Now, what you are doing is it is your right to get proper credit for your efforts. In the first instance, your manager may not know how much effort you put in. And you are not taking proper credit. But it is your right. You are not stealing credit from anybody. Remember, you are highlighting your own credit. Then only your manager knows. See, we do all this extra work and we don't explain what we did. And at the end of the performance review period, we don't get good rating. At that point of time, we tell, boss, you gave me that day, I had to work 2 weekends extra. But how manager knows? Did you tell him? Did you tell her? No. So probably, with this kind of, receiving feedback and, responding, probably you'll be able to help yourself, help your organization, right? Because they know you have a lot of work. Is it clear? Any questions?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. So I'll give you maybe constructive feedback. This is like, we have seen encouraging feedback. If somebody is appreciating us, how to receive it without getting humble and, without giving credit to others. Not stealing credit, okay? And receiving constructive feedback is like somebody is giving us a, saying that something needs to be improved, right? So again, typical thing, after your report, after you submitted a report, your manager comes and says, I didn't like your report. I'm very disappointed with you. Because that person doesn't know how to give the feedback. Now, how do you respond to this? Many times, how people respond? They become angry. And they say, oh, no, I thought report and presentation came out well. The structure was good. Why are you saying like this? You don't know how much effort I have put in. You never recognize my efforts. Please release me from this project immediately, right? Kind of things. People immediately respond, immediately burst out. Correct? Because the manager is not
Correct.
recognizing their efforts. Or sometimes what happens, if the person is very shy and afraid, he will become very submissive and very embarrassed and say, oh, I'm sorry, I will try to improve next time. But he doesn't know what to improve. No, you will be thinking inside, oh, what did I do wrong? But we don't ask for the detailed feedback because we are afraid, we are shy, we are feeling embarrassed. Both these responses are wrong. Either aggressive one or submissive one, both are wrong. We need to be more assertive. So how can we be more assertive? That is where our 3W framework comes to, help. Do not be panic. That is more important. While receiving feedback, okay, fine. Don't be panic. Take a pause, and then we will look at it. Right? The same scenario, right? Your manager comes and says, yeah, can anybody try this? How you want to use the 3W framework to receive the feedback?
Yeah, we would ask them, like, rather getting panicked or worked up, we would say that, okay, now that you said that the presentation wasn't good, what part of my presentation wasn't good? Could you please elaborate that? Could you give in your feedback or input like that? Make it more conversational rather like, interrogative session.
Super. Thank you so much, sir.
You can also ask how you can improve.
Exactly. That is so whatever Bala sir mentioned is second W. That is, whatever you mentioned is third W, way forward, right? So we will see that same, Naresh, first of all, my apologies. However, I thought the report was good. Can
Yeah.
you please help me understand which part of the report was not good, right?
Mm.
Exactly as Bala sir mentioned. Now, also I would like to discuss how I can improve in future, right? Like as madam mentioned, right?
Exactly.
So now what is happening is you are asking your manager to give feedback. Now Naresh has to provide the details on what went wrong, right? He cannot simply go away. When you are asking very specifically, can you please tell me what went wrong? And also I want to discuss with you how I can improve. As a manager, he needs to do that. And I'm sure most of the managers will tell you if you ask, right?
Correct.
Now, after he tells whatever, okay, that is data was not good, whatever it is, then you can say, thank you for the feedback, Naresh. I know it is very useful and I will improve it next time within your inputs, whatever provided. And of course, you both can have a brainstorming on how it can be improved, right? Those are all the things. But at least, this way, you are not getting panic, you are not getting angry, you are not ruining the relationships. And you know that manager doesn't know how to give feedback and you are extracting that information from him, right? So using 3W framework. Is it
To add another word to it, sir, trust me, this sort of conversation, when you sit and talk with the other person, be it your manager, your life partner, or anybody, if you get into this conversation, relationships become very better.
correct?
Rather me confronting and trying to defend myself and, offensive, defensive actuation. Rather than I talk to them, we get into the talk. That is when it becomes stronger and stronger. My manager will talk to me. He'll give me the feedback. I am working on it. It improves my skill. It also makes him to feel impressed that, this guy is listening to me. So our relation is more on to the healthier side.
Exactly. Very true. Very true. See, that is how, this 3W framework can be, utilized.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
You get to trust each other also.
Yeah. It builds the trust between the people, right? And then, see, when
If there's any barriers also, it gets broken.
Yeah. And when we set aside our egos, right? So automatically, the trust starts building. All right. Because if he's, if he thinks that, okay, my manager is always like that, I don't care, then, the relationship is not built. The trust is not built. The same way, if the manager is not helping that person, the trust is not built. But when, we are sitting together and understanding what went wrong and how can we improve, not as a,
yes,
I'm not taking the blame as a person. I'm taking the blame as a process. How I can improve the process. Right? That is where, it all matters. Okay. So now I think another probably 5 minutes I'll take. So
please.
So again, this is for again self-reflection, right? Because we are all trainers and we all have different communities and we all attend a lot of sessions like this, right? Or even we see, the LinkedIn lot of posts are there, right? So for example, say somebody is presenting in a community, it is just for a community help, nothing like, no commercials involved, right? Like today what we are, here, right? And then after the, presentation is over, after the, session is over,
Sir, you've muted yourself.
So after the presentation is over, how many of us are giving that genuine feedback to the presenter, right?
Mm.
Many communities, right? See, because what happens is most of the times, right, the presenter do not get the honest feedback. Most of the times people say thank you, excellent, a lot of things like that. But generally, nobody gives very specific feedback. There is a reason for that, right? I want to cover that
Correct.
reason also. Why do we do that? Because these are all very, sensitive relationships. We don't
Correct.
want to spoil the relation. We don't want, we don't know how the presenter reacts. We don't know whether we are crossing the boundaries. And very rarely, some people may have selfish motives. Oh, okay, I don't want this guy to be improved. Okay, no, but that is, let us leave that. But most of the times, what happens is, we don't want to spoil our relationships. We don't know
Correct.
how that person reacts, so we don't give the feedback. But then what is happening is in that process, the presenter actually doesn't know. No, it is not helpful for presenter because he or she may never realize what is happening, whether positive or negative, right? So that is what I have seen in most of the communities also, right? So we don't give the proper feedback. Okay. So of course, I'm expecting you to give me the feedback after this session. But before that, actually, I want to do one more small activity. Yeah.
Please.
So this is in a nutshell, if we want to talk about ABCD of effective feedback, one is it should be accurate. Again, we are not faking the feedback, right? As we discussed, it should be accurate. It should be balanced, right? Objectively give, no subjectivity. Objectively you give, and it should be constructive. It should help the other person. And then D is depersonalized, right? See, don't say you made a mess. Don't say, your presentation was not good. No. You can say, the presentation was not good. You can say, this particular task was not done properly. Never ever use that you kind of thing, right? Because it directly hit the other person. It directly hit the other person's ego, right?
Mm.
So I think, you can say, I think the presentation did not come out very well. So what you are doing is your focus is on the presentation. Your focus is not on the person. But you say you messed up the presentation, your focus is on you, not on the presentation, right? So depersonalize. That is more important. Yeah. So this is the ABCD. And now we are coming to the last slide. So before we started this session, I asked you to self-assess, on these 4 questions, right? Whatever you were rating. Now, after completing this session, do you still, I mean, you can again, re-rate yourself, right? Whether your rating still remains same or whether you want to change for better, right? Nothing wrong in that.
I would rather say that, after this session, if it is, giving feedback is something that we can definitely, we are good at it. We are comfortable at it. But receiving the feedback is always been a tricky situation. So now after this session, what I feel is like, when I say that, if you're receiving a feedback, you will ask for the elaboration, you will ask more question, you will ask their help in me becoming better or doing things, task better. So now receiving feedback will become more of an improvement session, rather like, somebody is commenting me and I'm taking it offensive or defensive. So that way, I am really happy that, this session has brought in that change.
Thank you, sir.
Change of mindset.
Thank you. Anybody else? I mean, you don't need to discuss what the ratings are done, but do you think that the ratings remain same or any change you observed? Same. Thank you. So
Yes, my ratings have been same, but my approach towards it is changed.
Good. Yeah, that is good. Yeah. Anyone else?
You have to bring it to practice. So
yes,
this is the most challenging thing because what happens is this thing kind of emotion which keeps coming. Actually, emotion one of the biggest thing which is the hindrance to
yes,
feedback. The kind of emotional state, I am in, and the kind of emotional state the person who's giving or the giving the feedback or receiving the feedback is in. So the emotional state is something we can never predict what the other person is in. So we have to find out that emotional state, If he's in a good mood, please give the feedback. If he's in a bad mood, I think it's better not to give the feedback now and give it in a later time. That would be one kind of a thing.
But again, Deepak sir, I think we need to, whenever we are giving feedback, it is our responsibility to ask whether that person is ready to listen to the feedback or not. So that way we need to first specifically ask, so can we have a
emotional
question? No, are you ready? Because if the person is not ready, he is not in a frame of mind, then the entire effort will be wasted, right? And unnecessarily heated arguments will come. So first thing is we will check whether are you comfortable to discuss the feedback. That is the fundamental.
Yeah.
And second thing is, say for example, if we are not in a right frame of mind, right, because of whatever reason, then we can always tell, okay, I understand you gave me the feedback, but maybe let me reflect on it and come back tomorrow. Can we discuss tomorrow? Right? You can always ask. You don't need to immediately respond to that. You can always tell, yeah, I got the feedback, but I need to reflect on it and come back. So that also works, right?
Just wanted to add another. I'm sorry, Deepak, you want to say something?
No, please go ahead.
Yeah, just wanted to add my experience with my recent time, and I don't want to get into the detail of it, but what I feel is, sir, that I've mastered the art. There is this science, like eagles don't fly in the rain. They don't get wet in the rain. The reason because they don't fly under the clouds. They fly above the clouds. That's the reason they don't get wet. So what I understood now is that if I am carrying that emotion, or if I'm getting into the emotion part of my feedback or anything as such, what is happening in my life, if I go beyond that or above that, like if my emotion is cloud, if somebody is cursing me or somebody is negative to me, and I'm just trying to react to him, rather I hold my breath, be a little patient, and then if I respond, that is more of a matured way. And second thing, sir, what I understood in the recent times is that there are a lot of people, society and everything is like throwing negative at you. But if you go beyond, above that, like an eagle flies beyond the clouds, so that is where you become more wiser and you become more calm than rather getting into the issues.
Yes. If we understand the motive of the other person,
Correct.
we can manage it. I mean, if the genuine interest is there, then it is okay. But
that's okay. Absolutely welcome. If it is just intentional to break your peace, then leave it. It's not worth it to fight with them.
Very true.
We shouldn't take it very personally.
One typical.
Exactly.
Yeah, we shouldn't take personally. Very true. Yeah.
See, one typical challenge I see, somebody says that you don't give feedback. Okay, the next moment when I give feedback, he doesn't respond. So it's a double situation.
I've lost a job for that, sir. I had to lose a job, a well-paying job, because that I did talk.
Yeah, see, sometimes it happens, but probably what we can do is, like, maybe if we use the 3W framework, probably it will help us to give
that
in such a way that the person doesn't feel attacked, right? That is
attacked.
Right? And then again, it all comes to the practice. See, what I do is even LinkedIn post, for example. Many times we see or some people say, excellent, thanks for sharing, right? But at least I made it a practice saying that I give this feedback, okay, what I liked in that particular post,
Great.
how it helped. So I started doing that. And so what happens is once we do that, it becomes a habit, right? So that is how I started practicing. So that way, and that is helpful for others also, right? So anyway, so the last slide. Feedback is considered as a gift, and we need to give the feedback with intention of helping or developing others, and we need to receive the feedback intention of opportunity to improvement. Look for opportunity. That's it, right? So thank you for being with me. I know it is for 1 hour, but I think we took more than 1 hour 15 minutes or 1 hour 20 minutes. My apologies for that. But I hope you all enjoyed this.
No. Yeah. Definitely. I also thank you for bringing in this platform that I could meet other gentlemen and the lady out here. So the only lady out here. Thank you so much for coming up.
Can everybody come on camera for a minute so we can just take a snapshot? Screenshot of this.
And most importantly, please feel free to give me feedback, anything, right? So
we have. Sir,
I
thank you
was on
very
the
much.
wild
With
card
this,
entry.
Wild
It was
card
a
I'm
wild
sorry.
card entry, late entry, but still worth it.
I hope you did not miss much. In case of that, then do let us know. We'll cover it up for you, ma'am.
Yeah, I'm actually waiting for the recording.
Okay, okay, fine. That's great. So, oh yes, it's a bonus. Nice meeting you all. Nice seeing you all.
Yeah.
Uh,
Nice meeting you all. Thank you.
Ramnath sir, for a moment, I saw you as like the film actor Balakrishna. For a moment, I thought like, this gentleman is on the screen.
Right.
Great session, sir.
Right.
I
Thank
now
you.
understand.
Thank you.
No, thanks a lot for the time.
Thank you,
sir. Yeah.
Sridharan. And we have this session quite regularly every Saturday. I'll keep you updated. You can all
Please.
ping me in my email ID.
Sure.
So we have different types of sessions. So knowledge sharing is always promoted. Yeah. Thank you.
Great, sir.
Thank
Sharing
you.
is caring.
Thank
Thank
you,
you
sir.
so much.
Yeah,
You all
sharing is
have a
Have a-
lovely weekend. Take
Thank
care.
you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you, Vijay Kumar ji.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vijay Kumar
Thank
sir.
you. Thank you all.
Thank you. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah, Vimla, how are you? Out. Okay, bye. Ramnath ji,
I think
see you.
she left. Okay,
She
bye.
left.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Bye, bye, bye.
Can I end the session, sir?
Yeah, sure, do that. Please go ahead.